Here is Grandpa and Grandson. It is the year 2040. Global population has reached 10 billion with around 2 billion elderly. Iran and Iraq have merged to form the Republic of Akan, and the vast majority of countries have achieved democracy. Almost all countries are linked by maglev high-speed trains. The city of London has become bigger and bigger with more and more people, but the culture and landscape of cities around the world have become homogeneous. The world as we know it is becoming equal, with peace and prosperity being predominant. Great Britain has taken a giant leap by returning all that it has plundered. The V&A will rightfully return their treasures, and the rest of the world is following. The V&A begins its 5-year-long Return Them to the World gesture by inaugurating their first traveling museum to the Middle East, which will travel from Morocco to Uzbekistan, returning its collection back to their origin at the end of each year and creating a fresh exhibit every year until 2045. The yearly exhibits will be curated in collaboration with local Middle Eastern museums before being finally returned. Here is Grandpa's room. Grandpa and Grandma met in London in the 90s. She passed away a few years ago, and her possessions have been left at home as they were. One weekend, Grandpa and Grandson go to the museum. They arrive at the beautiful 19th century V&A building. Here they visit the Middle East collection first.
I am so bored, Grandpa. I do not understand these so-called precious collections. What is the story behind them?
Oh, grandson, these are objects that were used in ancient times for different purposes, like eating, drinking, cooking, storing, and many more.
Grandson still feels confused. He has no idea about the historic timeline and details of how, when, and why.
Grandpa, have a look at this box. It seems to have the same patterns as that of Grandma's box.
They both checked the label for the box and saw that it was originally from Iran. They were now deeply interested in finding out the story behind the box. On their way out, Grandpa remembered reading about V&A's traveling museum and decided to book the V&A's touring train for the Middle Eastern Islamic collection. They chose a 9-day journey across the dunes of the Middle East, starting from the Republic of Akan and ending in Uzbekistan. Grandpa and Grandson arrive one sunny morning in Akan, where they begin their exciting journey aboard the V&A's panoramic train.
Wow! I couldn't wait to see it.
See, grandson, the collection on the train has a timeline sequence. Come on, grandson, let's keep our bags in the room. Let's go to the onboard restaurant. I would like to try out some Persian tea.
What do we do now? I am feeling hungry.
After ordering some rose and saffron tea, the attendant offers the grandpa a complimentary e-hookah to puff as they await their order.
Look, grandson, at the base of the hookah.
It looks like a cat.
Yes, it is unusual shape, and the colors are somewhat not very Middle Eastern.
Let's go visit some exhibits, Grandpa.
Look what's here, a medical carriage. Good riddance. I have some assistants on board.
We will be arriving at our next destination. Please visit the 16th and 17th century gallery before your arrival in Isfahan.
They enter the 16th and 17th century gallery. A video about the history of the Safavid Empire is playing. The projection shows the middle of the desert. All of a sudden, the top of the carriage starts to look like it's raining. An oasis has formed in the desert. People start gathering by the oasis, and a market has appeared. As time passes by, more and more people come to trade, and the city of Isfahan rises from the sands. The doors of the gallery carriages open, and the local visitors are welcomed on board the V&A's free museum.
Welcome to Isfahan.
While Grandpa and Grandson are browsing through the collection, the carriage transforms from empty to almost full as more visitors climb aboard to enjoy the collections.
Look at this object, son. It looks very similar to the base of the e-hookah.
Yes, it's the cat again.
The cat formed the base of a water pipe, Korean, used in the newly introduced practice of smoking tobacco.
Now the grandson was up to some mischief. He was trying to touch the kalyan, and as he stretched his hand to touch the object, a laser shield appeared protecting it. The upset grandson then turns away, noticing a large tiled panel with a screen next to it. As he approaches the panel, the voice explains the details of the piece to the young boy. Grandson enjoys the story about the piece, but keeps wondering about the purpose of the screen. The voice then invites the boy to solve a puzzle, and the screen lights up.
Hello, can I join you?
Yes, sure, it is lots of fun.
They both mischievously play with the screen.
So, what brings you here?
My grandma was born here, and the box she left behind is the reason that we are here. We saw a similar box at the V&A in London.
The local boy then took the grandson and grandpa to his father, who was admiring a portrait of Nadir Shah. A hologram then appeared next to the painting.
I was born on the 6th of August 1698 in northern valleys of Khorasan, a province in the northeastern part of the Persian Empire. I grew up during the final years of the Safavid dynasty, which had ruled Persia since 1502.
After hearing a little about Nadir Shah, the Napoleon of the Middle East, the grandpa, grandson, young local, and his father were joined by the onboard curator, who told them more about Nadir Shah and about the fancy Persian garden parties that were depicted on the tiles, as well as the original use of the kalian as a vessel to smoke cannabis. In their discussion, the young local mentions the grandson's box, and after showing the picture of the box, the father, who is from a local museum, tells them that the box could have originated from Iran and been brought to Iraq along the Old Spice route. The father then invites them to a lecture on board the train, where he would be talking about ancient Persian and Middle Eastern objects.
I have to discover the city, Grandpa.
Yes, we must not waste a single moment and start immediately.
They set out to experience one of the largest cities in the world during the time of the ancient Persian Empire. At the spice markets, they try out some local delights like kebab and tagine. Grandpa always wanted to see the Sufi dervishes of the Mevlevi order. They headed to the Rumi Fest 2040, where the whirling dervishes performed the most spectacular and meditative dance.
I'm so excited to be at Grandma's family home. I wish Grandma was here. I don't want to give her box away.
I know, son, but Grandma would be really happy to see her belongings here. Also, it would be such a lovely surprise gift for her sister. It would make her so happy.
After being inspired by the V&A's gesture returned them to the world, Grandpa had decided before visiting the V&A that weekend to make it his responsibility to return Grandma's box to where it came from.